North Korea is surrounded by some of the most powerful nations on Earth. South Korea to the south, China to the north, Japan across the water. The United States maintains tens of thousands of troops in the region. Yet nobody invades, nobody attacks. Kim Jong-un sits in Pyongyang, largely untouched by the conflicts that consume other parts of the world. Why? The simple answer is nuclear weapons. North Korea has them. Estimates suggest around 50 warheads, maybe more. They've tested missiles that can reach Tokyo, Seoul, and possibly farther. Even one detonation would mean hundreds of thousands dead. Cities erased, radiation spreading for decades. That alone changes the calculus of war entirely. But it's not just the bombs themselves, it's the uncertainty surrounding them. North Korea is a black box. Intelligence agencies struggle to know what's real and what's propaganda. How many missiles actually work? Where are they hidden? What would trigger their use? When you can't answer those questions with confidence, launching a preemptive strike becomes a gamble with millions of lives. Then there's geography. North Korea shares a border with China, a nuclear superpower with its own strategic interests. Beijing doesn't want a unified Korea under American influence, sitting on its doorstep. It doesn't want millions of refugees flooding across the Yalu River. A war on the Korean peninsula would force China into an impossible position: either intervene and risk direct confrontation with the United States, or stand aside and watch its regional influence collapse. South Korea faces a different nightmare. Seoul sits just 35 miles from the North Korean border. Artillery is already positioned in the hills, aimed directly at the capital. Within the first hour of conflict, before a single soldier crosses the DMZ, tens of thousands of civilians could be dead. South Korea has everything to lose in a war, even one it might eventually win. The United States has military superiority, sure, advanced technology, air dominance, naval power. But what does victory look like? Occupying North Korea means nation building in a country with no infrastructure, a traumatized population, and a cult of personality embedded into every institution. It means managing a nuclear arsenal in a collapsing state. It means explaining to the American public why another endless conflict was necessary. So the world watches, sanctions get tightened, diplomatic channels remain barely open, intelligence satellites track every missile test, but direct military action stays off the table. Not because North Korea is strong, but because the cost of conflict is unthinkable. Kim Jong-un understands this perfectly. He's built a regime that survives not through economic power or international alliances, but through the threat of catastrophic retaliation. He doesn't need to win a war, he just needs to make starting one so devastating that nobody dares try. That's the paradox. North Korea is weak by almost every conventional measure, yet it remains untouchable. The nuclear arsenal guarantees it. The geography protects it. The unpredictability shields it. And so the standoff continues, frozen in place, with the entire region holding its breath.